Previously on the Displacement for the Dream Diaries.
I'm going to be pulling out of here today, but I'm just pulling off from Hollywood on to the next adventure. If I am for me, who can be against me?
Gave till they had no more to give. Forced to receive from other people.
Yeah. If you don't assign a value to what it is that you're doing, you'll think that it has no worth. Nobody ever say anything to me in the future about why I'm charging.
I closed my successful business to follow my dream.
TKO Skin will be closing.
It took me around the world, but I landed in a hot seat.
New York State levied my bank accounts. I'm living in my car. Thank you for believing in me.
Now I'm working to get out of my car to spread love on TV.
I love yourself. I don't know. I have to try. Nothing will stop me.
Displacement for the Dream Diaries.
Every day you make mistakes, but heroes know that's what it takes to find themselves, to save a friend, discover
Today's
true
Displacement for the
love
Dream
in
Diaries. Hello knockouts, TonyaTko here. And you know, when really, I don't know why, but when really hard stuff happens, I really go inside. I don't really talk outside. So I didn't do a video yesterday because I got a really heavy blow, a really heavy hit yesterday. Just to give you an update, I thought I was at the end of the displacement. I did. I found a place that I thought was a good fit. You know, there was something that I was a little apprehensive about. However, it seemed like a really good fit on paper. And then, like yesterday, the deal fell through. I'll tell you guys more about that when I can. I'm having a hard time articulating it right now. I don't know. But nonetheless, let me I'll come back and tell you guys the whole story. I really want to get out of the situation right now. A friend has allowed me to spend the last 2 nights at his place, and it's been such a wonderful blessing. So it's like I don't get a chance to really do my hair unless I'm indoors, because you know I have to do the whole process to it. Like the last time I did it was right before that show with Dr. Puppet. I was gonna say McStuffins. That's so silly. And the final step is to take this boiling hot water and dip my rollers into it. And so now my hair it's gone too long, so now it's like all tangled right now. This is how tangled it gets. It's knotted. And so I have to I've spent the past day and a half just trying to go piece by piece, because these are crochet braids, so it is crocheted around braids that are flat cornrowed onto my head. So I definitely don't want to start combing crazy and then start damaging my hair underneath, so I have to be very gentle with it. Oh my goodness. I was really expecting, I really thought that I was going to manifest something that would present itself at the end of last month or the beginning of this one. But now we're a few days into the month and I don't have anything yet. And I'm just like, I don't know, I'm starting to grow weary of this journey. I'm starting to grow weary It's like it's gone on for too long now, and the stamina is, I don't know, the stamina is like kind of, it's just draining out of me. It's like, I thought for sure this would have been resolved by now. I thought for sure. But it's just not, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if because it's like my intuition is telling me to go for a particular thing. And so that's what I've been looking for. But now I don't know what to do. Go back to the drawing board? What? I really don't know. And so I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna work it out. You know what? I gotta continue to do the things that I need to do to keep myself uplifted spiritually and concentrate on all that's going good, all that's right, and just concentrate on continuing to manifest and concentrate on abundance and concentrate on drawing to me what is meant for me. I truly believe that if you listen to your intuition will lead you in the right direction. That's why I'm a little bit confused as to why what it is that I'm being led to is not being drawn to me easily and effortlessly. I don't know, unless there's something else that I need to garner and glean from the journey. But honestly, I'm ready to have flowy chiffon curtains and big plush fold down comforters. I'm not doing down anymore because of the abuse that the birds face. So I'm not doing real down anymore. And fold down is nice, and it's hypoallergenic, blah blah blah. So I'm ready to get into my own surroundings. I'm ready to be able to, cook the type of foods that I want to eat, that I like to eat. And I'm ready to start blending and juicing again. I'm ready. Gosh. Nonetheless, and I haven't gone to work out for the past 2-3 days either. That's another thing I need to, I'm gonna get it together. I'm staying fast to the course. But at this time, it's like I'm starting to panic and I'm starting to think of reconnaissance, because at this point, I'm not operating efficiently and effectively anymore. I'm starting to, like my force, my inside, the force is starting to feel like it's kind of depleting. And I have to do something to replenish the force. Well, at least since I've been out of the car, I've been drinking more fluids, more water. That's another thing that makes me feel really bad when I'm inside the car, when I'm not drinking as much fluids as I would like to drink during the day, as much water. I like to put lemon and stevia in my water. So but yeah. We'll talk. Hopefully when my spirit is quelled, I'll be able to tell you guys more about what happened with the property and why it fell through. But basically, she had given the indication that she really didn't want to rent the place. Like, she really didn't want to rent the place, so she imposed all of these rules and regulations and restrictions on the property. I don't know. It's because it's like, I don't know. It's like she wanted the money, but she just didn't want someone living there. You know what I mean? She didn't want any of the indications of a person living there, but she wanted the indications of their money in her bank account. Nonetheless, I'll tell you guys the full story. There are 2 stories I need to tell you guys. The story of what happened when I became displaced, and this story too. Oh, so remind me about that. Anyway, listen, we'll talk soon. Peace. Would you like to hug? Yeah, let's hug. I could use a hug right now. Hug me. Oh. Actually, that did make me feel better. So go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? Love yourself. And loving yourself is what? Loving yourself is self-care, even when you don't feel like it. Loving yourself is taking care of yourself. That's the only thing I can come up with right now. Hopefully the next one will be better. But self-care is good. I like that one. Yeah, loving yourself is continuing to pick yourself up even against the odds. Loving yourself is continuing to do the things necessary to care for yourself, even when you may not feel like it, you know? Even if you go through the motions of self-care, you're still caring for yourself, right? I'll take that. I'll take that. Anyway, TonyaTko, and I'm out. Peace. So let me give you guys the story. I want you all to go back to the last Displacement Diaries, day 58, and look at the house. When I get to the backyard, I pan to the right. I want you to take a look at the ground because it happens really quickly, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. But there are like some little cacti on the ground, some little things. So listen, so I thought this was the place for me. So me and the owner are talking. I went to the property one time on my own. Then I went there when the owner was there. And I noticed some things about her personality. Like she seemed a little anal about some things, a little neurotic and anxious about some others. And I was a little concerned about that. And then at one point in the video, she said, as you know, I'm a security nut. So I was starting to get the idea that perhaps she may not be down with the Airbnb thing, and you knew that I wanted to talk with her about it, and I wasn't really sure how to bring it up. But nonetheless, back to the garden. I do a pan to the garden. She has like some little cacti or whatnot on the ground, just some little shrubby kind of things on the ground, right? And so I'm talking to her. I'm thinking that this is the place that I'm going to be living. So I'm letting her, I'm like, I want to plant roses. I really want to make this my home. I want to make this my own. The displacement was lasting too long. I was happy to be in a place, and I was happy that I manifested this place. So I was just telling her about my plans, and I was like, oh, in this part right here, I can plant a garden. Because remember, one of the places that I thought was really great, a good fit too, but just the wrong neighborhood, they had kale and chard and strawberries planted. And so, and in my childhood home, I grew up with a garden in the backyard with a little farm, right? So I'm like, I could plant a little garden right here with some vegetables and some things, because I want to grow tomatoes, I want to grow herbs, I want to reap from the soil. So I'm telling her, I'm like so excited about my plans, and she's like, oh, let me talk to my partner about the garden, because she just planted that stuff, and I need to see if it's all right with her. And so that was the first warning sign. And I was like, oh my goodness, she has to check with her partner to see if it's all right for me to plant in a part of the yard. And it's not like it was the lawn, it was off to the side. And just take a look at that video and see if you can see it. So she got back to me on the morning, day 59, and after I got that phone call from her, I didn't even record a video for day 59. I was just so depressed. It was like she contacted me and she said basically her partner had she called them succulents or something like that. She said, oh, my partner was really attached to them. She just planted them, and she doesn't feel comfortable with me digging them up because she just planted them. And so I'm thinking to myself, she indicated that she wanted someone to live in this property for 5 years. She wasn't going for the 1 year rental. She's going for the long-term rental. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so she wants somebody to rent for 5 years. And I'm like, so, and I brought this up to her. I was like, and you expect for 5 years for me not to be able to plant a garden in the place that I'm living? And that was like, but I wasn't really sure if it was a deal breaker, because remember, I really wanted to get out. And remember, I was already feeling concerned about the Airbnb bit, and I really wanted to confirm that with her before moving in. I have weekly calls with the donors to my campaign, and one of the young ladies, she buys and sells real estate. And so she's really familiar with real estate law and lease laws. So she told me to, instead of telling her that I'm going to run an Airbnb, to just tell her that I'm going to be conducting business on the property and that I would need that added into the lease. And so when I spoke to her after she told me about these succulents and how I wouldn't be able to dig up the succulents, I mentioned to her that I wanted to put that part in the lease. And when I was there on the property, I did tell her that I was thinking about, manufacturing some coconut oil, I told her, from the garage. But honestly, the garage was not sterile enough to be able to make products in the type of way that I like to make product, because I like my products are pristine. And she told me that she was going to change the lease to make sure that it stated that nobody would be able to conduct business on the property. And so after that, there was really nothing more to talk about, because it did seem like she wanted the money of a renter, but she just didn't want anybody to disturb. She was really attached to the property. Like I said, she was still living there on the weekends, and it was my thought that she was going to move out once the place was rented. However, she seemed really hands-on. She seemed really, really attached to the property. This home was her baby, and I think that she moved because of her partner, and I think she still wants to be in the house. And she comes back and forth from where she lives to that neighborhood every week because of her mother. So I got the idea that she was going to be there all the time, that she was going to be really nervous about things. And some of you said that you thought that she was fine, and I think that this is how we end up in bad relationships, because we don't pay attention to early warning signs of potential problems. When a person makes a statement, and then right after their statement there's some sort of complaint, if you rewind to that video, she talked about, how the upholstery wasn't how she wanted it. How the fireplace wasn't real. How she didn't like the sound of the alarm. It was annoying. And this and that. And it was like, if you pick up on these little cues, here and there, everywhere was sprinkled little complaints. And happiness is a choice. Gratitude is a choice. Feeling full is a choice. And a person who does not feel full just is not going to feel full. And so the deal fell through, and I was devastated. As you see, I couldn't even talk about it. Displacement Diaries, I told you what it is that I need as a human being. I need to keep my body, my mind, and my spirit all operating at full function. And so when if I'm not eating clean, if I'm not drinking enough fluids, if I'm not getting enough sleep, things start to fall off. And then you see what you see in this video. I start to get really sad. I start to get downtrodden. And then, that's part of the reason that I didn't want to go into Inglewood. You have to get to know yourself. And I know myself. And I know that it would be even that much more difficult for me to get out of Inglewood once I went in. So the last thing that I wanted to do was get into a situation that would have been difficult for me to spiritually and emotionally climb out of. So all of the people with their naysayers and whatever, you know yourself, that's fine. And I know me. And I wasn't going to put myself into a situation to please anybody else, a situation which would have made it more difficult for me to rise up out of true and full total displacement and rise back up into abundance. So I had to do what was right for me. I need to be around the right energy. I need sunshine, and I need to be clean. So on this particular day, I was really down. Everything was out of whack. As you see, I'm depressed. And I didn't know what to do. I wasn't manifesting. I couldn't really tap into my intuition. So I did the only thing that I knew that I could do. And I called in to some psychics. And wait until you see what the psychics say to me.
Next time on the Displacement for the Dream Diaries.
You've not had an easy life. You've actually had probably a difficult life. Is it financial struggles?
Currently in California, and I'm displaced.
You're supposed to write a book on your journey. Are you taking notes on your journey right now? Your show will take off, and you particularly came in for large growth in this lifetime.
The Displacement for the Dream Diaries.
Every day you make mistakes, but heroes know that's what